and welcome to this week's Out of Control. We've got plenty of action for you this week, just like we had last week in fact.
If you didn't see last week's show, then you missed a little bit of this. A little bit of this. Some of this. And even more of this. It won't be so hot where we start in this week's show. It's back to the snows of Scotland, and Peter Fasalo proving to himself at least that you don't need to be going quickly to put yourself out of a rally. The thing about snow in Finland is that it does tend to be thick enough so that when you hit it, it doesn't hurt either you or your car. But generally the snow in Britain tends not to be so heavy, so that if you do slide uncontrollably off the road, you can still do your car some damage on the rocks underneath the snow. And damage, although not too serious, is inevitable. It's the beauty of rallying, though, that you have to master a variety of conditions and surfaces. And so the Scottish Rally Championship also sees a couple of stages on the racetrack at Knockhill, which always throws up quite a bit of entertaining driving. This bright spark seems to think that taking a shortcut across the grass is the key to a faster time. But he forgets that there's not as much grip on the slippery grass as there is on sticky tarmac, with inevitable consequences and a bit of a fright to follow as well. As we've already seen, a quick spin isn't a problem, as long as you don't get stuck in some greasy bog, without loads of spectators to help. There's just enough here to get this Avenger out. But then he drops it into the muck on the other side. Lucky for him, he gets it out again, as these guys wouldn't have been too impressed. It's always great to see man and machine in perfect harmony.
Unlike the driver of that car, of course. And now for your favourite part of the show, we're off to Finland again.
Only the Finns would start a rally stage with an instant feed into a tricky corner, and at what seems like 10-second intervals. But surprisingly, and to the possible disappointment of the huge crowd, there are no incidents here. but it all kicks off just a bit down the road. The navvy seems unfazed, calmly resetting his trip meter. "Where are we exactly?" he asks the bemused spectator. Next along is a normal type of flamboyant Scandinavian driver. All arms and elbows, lots of sideways action, and off. Still, never mind, no harm done. Although plenty of time lost, because although you can lose a lot of times when your wheels are spinning in the mud, you can of course lose even more time when your wheels aren't touching the ground. Next along is an old Toyota Starlet. These late 80s rear-wheel drive cars are great for rallying, in the right hands. Still, 7 out of 10 for style here, I think. But none out of 10 for spraying the spectators. Let's see what virtual commentator makes of that.
Well, as you can see, the driver is keen to get on his way again. The spectators are probably just minding their own business, nibbling on an elk roll, and then extra garnish.
Next along is a Toyota Corolla, nicely prepared in a sort of mafia black, and driven right on the ragged edge. Then it's another Starlet, and just as the previous two Toyotas were just the right side of out of control, this unlucky chap is just the wrong side, and over it goes. The spectators, as ever, get it back on its wheels again, and off the poor car goes, looking like a dog with a sad face and a scrunched up nose. And here's another car you don't see very often, a Fiat 131. It looks the part, apparently nicely painted, possibly well prepared, but definitely badly driven. It's incredible, isn't it, how spectators always work together so well as a team. There's no team leader, no team building, but they always know what to do. Which is run when a Mark II Escort comes round the corner and nearly spins into them. Straight into the field goes this fella. But maybe he's been here before, because he seems to know the way out. And he disappears from view to be welcomed again several seconds later by the enthusiastic crowd. This Mark I Escort, decked out in the same colour scheme as Hannu Mikkela's old car, follows the same route. Popping out of a side road and on his way again. And here's another Starlet, driven by a man who wants to be a star. Hard driving, on the limit, committed, and wham, bam and thank you man. It never even touched the sides. And off it goes to the Toyota Starlet graveyard in the sky. It's been a long day, but with darkness starting to fall, they're still going off. There's as many people watching now as you get at a reasonable sized football match. Well, one say involving Crewe or Wrexham. And once again, we get the chance to look at what it is that's been causing all the mayhem. Not a lot really, is it?
Well, that all looked very easy, didn't it? Now it's time for a break. Hello again. Later on in the show we've got some rallycross action for you, but we're going to stick with rallying for the time being.
Well, there's cutting it fine. And then there's cutting it fine. The thing is that top rally crews remove the inner metal bumper to cut down weight, leaving only the flimsiest of plastic structures which fall off with the slightest knock, which is all good news for Ford's motorsport parts department. Of course, it's often said that you don't win rallies in a Ford, and certainly not if your car drowns out in one. Still, they get going again, so no real problems there. The Isle of Man hosts 2 major rallies a year. And although they don't attract the massive numbers to the island that the TT races do, there are still a fair few fans who make the trip over to see what is always entertaining rallying. Repeated use of the same roads year after year also means that the speeds are quite high, as the more experienced drivers have a lot of knowledge of the stages before they get there, especially the locals. But of course it doesn't matter how much knowledge you've got if you simply go too fast. Or even try to go the wrong way. Single venue events are a good way to start rallying, as they offer the chance to get into the swing of things without worrying about making too big a mistake and having a big crash. Incidents at single venues do tend to be quite minor. You'd have to try very hard to have a big accident here. on the stages though, anything can happen. Although if you're lucky when you make a mistake, once again you might get away with a harmless spin, as these drivers do. But at high speed on the Isle of Man, when it does go wrong, it can go wrong in a big way.
Well, that was a big one, wasn't it? But as ever, with all the accidents in Out of Control, neither of the crew members got hurt. Now it's time for some more rallycross action.
As Murray Walker would say, go, 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 go! And off. Now that's what you call a short race. Yes, it's those lovely boys and girls from the rallycross tracks again, impressing us with their driving and synchronised spinning skills. I must admit I do like these rallycross sections, because you never know what's going to happen next. It seems that an accident or an unusual incident can come from anywhere at any time. This chap can't decide whether to have an accident or not. Whilst the driver of the Metro tries to push the Mini off, but justice prevails and he finds himself upside down, although there is chaos all around him. And we see a not unique sight in rallycross: the red flag is out to stop the race. Here we see one chap trying hard not to have an accident on his own. He regains the circuit and takes one of his rivals off. Time to bring in virtual commentator, I think.
Well, here we are. Bouncy, 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 catchy monkey. Under control, out of control. A neat Alan Smith meets Roy Keane type of hack to the back quarters, and off they go.
What are you on, Virtual? This is pretty unusual too. At first it's just a little bit sideways, nothing to worry about. I just need a little moment to myself, and then whoops, over it goes. And this is even odder. How often does a Mini land on top of you? Here we see it again in slow motion, and the green Mini simply bounces in the air, landing on top of the following car before launching itself into a roll. Bad luck for all concerned there. Now, some rallycross people have complained that I've been calling their drivers aggressive, and that I've been saying that it doesn't appear much like a non-contact sport to me. Well, every picture tells a story, don't it?
Time to wind up the action with this week's Top 10. that's all for this show. Just think, we're only halfway through the series. See you again next week.